Hello everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just come down into Bitcoin, we've got a CoinsKid crew. So currently the CBBI is sitting at 3. I know a lot of you are waiting for 0. I will potentially look at the 0 as, a little opportunity just to put a little bit of capital into Bitcoin. But I'm looking for more data in the charts right here before I can start to scream the bottom to you. But, if we do start to see a collapse here towards the end of the month or leading into, the start of the new year, then and this thing goes to 0, then historically data has shown us that whenever this thing's in the floor and this is really dark green, it is an opportunity, although it doesn't feel like it at the time. So I will deploy a small amount of capital, not like 100% like a lot of people do, when I see this thing get to 0. I will keep you updated on that particular scenario if it plays out, okay? And it is a big if as well, because this is Bitcoin, anything can happen. We can bounce it, whatever, or we even come down to 0 and stay down at 0 and Bitcoin keeps rolling. This is why I'm not going to deploy all my capital, but I will take a risk, because data, I like to rely on data and I like to take risks at data, and this is what I was doing at this low here. We didn't necessarily go dark green and we never went to 0 or any lower than 7 when we put in that low in June, okay? But I did take a risk because at that point, not all my capital, a small level of capital I put into charts, like I said to you, I didn't go all in. But I did take a risk. I did buy that bottom. I did buy that dip, okay, because of historical data in the charts right there that was showing us that there was a good opportunity. But that particular opportunity has been validated. That's why I said on that low, if it gets taken out, I'll exit that position and then look to re-enter on other data. So obviously we can say that if this go to 0, that could be one lovely little bit of data that we could jump up and down and say, hey, good entry point. Who knows? But what I'm looking for in the charts, and I keep going through this with you, is primarily certain things, okay? Breaking key levels of resistance, closing back above the EMAs, something we're not doing. We're showing relatively signs of weakness. This is why at this point, if this does go to 0, I will not be deploying all my capital into investing into Bitcoin, okay? Because I don't necessarily want to catch a falling knife. But I will apply a little bit of capital just to take that small risk, okay? Because anything can happen. So right now, let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart. Looking at Bitcoin, on the monthly time frame, it could just been really, really simple as just zooming out and saying, okay, we've got this big move, big ABC correction, big move, and we're in this massive correction. It's coming back down to this neckline of support simply because you've broken out of it there on a God candle, just like you've broken this resistance here with a God candle, and eventually where do you find support? All the way down there, okay? So it just could be that simple that you're just going mirroring a very similar cycle. This here, and I've gone through this with you, is just this, okay? See this? It's just a larger version of this, okay? So from 2018, okay, from the bottom into 2020, we broke out and we traced all the way back down to the neckline. So from 2000 and, where was that, 20, 2 years later, all we're doing is retracing back down to the neckline from where you're broken out on. So, this could potentially just be where Bitcoin's looking for the bounce, okay? So there might be a last leg, a shakeout in this market, just like this event here, the Corona dump, where we came down this big ABC zigzag correction, bounced off a neckline, a W double bottom pattern that we created at the bottom of the bear in 2018, broke out, fell back to support, broke out, and we're falling back to this neckline here of this potential ascending triangle, W double bottom pattern, whatever you want to call it, coiling up, broken out the resistance just there, and you've never back tested it. So this is what Bitcoin is looking for, primarily the golden ratio, and that's it, job done. That's the bottom of the correction, and from there we start to come back up. Now obviously that'd be amazing, okay? That would be absolutely amazing, and we start to come back up, and 2023 is fruitful, and we start to come back up over the next few years, and we've had this sort of big red year, and then right now we've got this 3 years going forward, and we're just in this 4-year cycle where we have this red year, 3 years of appreciation, red year, 3 years of appreciation, red year, and things like that. We're just in these cycles, no guesswork. It's just what it is, it's what Bitcoin's always done. It's an absolute possibility. So, for this particular scenario to play out, I need to see something in another chart, okay, in multiple charts, like I've just shown you, CBBI. I need to see things that are sort of confluence to that. So right now there is something that's happening in a particular chart that is kind of giving a confluence to that, and it's the DXY. Let me show you. Looking at DXY on a weekly, we've got this clear breakdown of this beautiful sort of broadening channel. Like I said to you, close below that, you're confirming a breakdown. I think your technical target is all the way down where you form the channel. So, you're falling through the EMA, turning to resistance. I think what we might be on the cusp of here for the DXY, unless this is some kind of ABC correction here in itself, where you've got this A, B, and this is the C leg, and you're going to bounce off to 55 and start to come back up. That's a possibility. But what I think we might have here is some kind of A, we have some kind of B, and this is the leg here that pushes crypto down towards the end of the year right here, and then we roll in a larger correction for the DXY. And this particular scenario, this C leg, just like the C leg that crypto has been in since November 2021, I think that this particular scenario is going to be really, really fruitful going forward, okay, for crypto. So it's confluence in other charts. Now, if we take a look on the 12-month time frame here, I think that potentially what we might see is a rejection off a 786. So this is the breakout of a massive falling wedge, a bullish reversal pattern. You're breaking resistance, falling back to support, coiling up, confirm resistance to support. So it looks as though you're on your way to retrace to each point of contact in the wedge. And you can clearly see here, this is where you've got rejected, and right now you're starting to come back in, okay? So for me, if you start to see the year closed, because it's a 12-month time frame, if you start to see the year close on the DXY below 0786 at 107.865, then I think you've got your wick above, just like you did here, and you're going to start to retrace, okay, for the level of support for the continuation of this bullish trend. So this particular level here, where it starts to retrace, this retracement is perfectly healthy for the DXY, but it's going to be opportunity for crypto. And it is a big if, because obviously there's no guarantees that it's going to happen, but it's just something I'm looking at in the charts, because you run into resistance, come back to support, run into resistance, come back for support. Now there is a level of support here in the fibs for me that wasn't back tested, so this is on my radar. The if, and it is a big if as well, if the DXY really does seriously roll next year, okay, and everyone here was really, really bearish on crypto and risk on, but all the DXY is coming up and it's retracing, looking for support for the continuation. Now, if we do get a massive drawdown and a big retracement here for the DXY into next year, and we do see a big red candle, okay, and we can come back onto this video in a year's time, and we're seeing a big red candle and some kind of depreciation, then where is the target for the DXY? Well, for me, like I've always said to you, once you break resistance, I always like to see it back test support for the same reason we've seen the back test on Bitcoin on the W double bottom pattern of 2018. 2020 we came back to it, we're broken out, and right now it looks as though we're coming back to the 2020 W double bottom pattern, doesn't it? A big consolidation pattern. We're coming back to the neckline. So again, you've got very similar scenario in the DXY here using fibs. So you caught up, broke, okay. You can clearly see this God candle here when you broke the 382, okay, at 816, you never back tested it as support. So immediately, if the DXY does get really, really nasty next year and starts to come back, I will keep this on my radar, that if this thing does start to come back, I think it's looking for support on the 382 at 816, and that could be a really good area at that point. Whenever you start to see this come back in time and back test it as support, it could be just looking for that before breaking again, okay, and that would be a really good area to add confidence to take profit on any sort of longs or spot positions you're in on crypto. And it really is that simple. You know, the inverse of that is that this thing is just absolutely taken off into space. And if this does continue to take off into space leading to the next few years here, and you are breaking out and you're going to get the full retracement, you're going to take this resistance out, you're going to get to the 168 and things like that, you know, you really are going to break out here parabolically, then this is going to be a massive bloodbath for crypto and risk on assets, where they're just going to get absolutely nailed into the floor, and this thing's just taking off into space. But like I've always said to you, zoom out, you'll always find the points of resistance and support. There's a reason, not bullshit, not hoping, there's a reason in the charts right now why the DXY could fall back to that. And if it does, on its journey, you know, to the upside, if it does, then this is going to be an opportunity for us in crypto, okay? So you enjoyed that update. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. You know, hopefully we can nail the bottom. We can find the bottom over the next couple of months. We nail it, and we look at some kind of fruitful, you know, consistent with the cycles, and the DXY is rolling, which will be amazing. Okay, take care, everyone. Back soon with another update on Bitcoin. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Bye bye.